This is not just a skin, it's a marvel of natural engineering that inspired Olympic swimsuits for decades. A single movie, Jaws, has defined how we see them, painting sharks as vengeful, two-dimensional monsters of the deep. But what if that story, the one we all think we know, is completely wrong? What if the truth is far more complex, far more intelligent, and way more breathtaking? We see sharks as monsters, but their biology tells a completely different story. It's the story written over 450 million years, a tale of survival, adaptation, and mind-blowing sophistication. They have patrolled our planet's oceans since before the dinosaurs, surviving mass extinction that wiped out almost everything else. Today, we are not just debunking the myths, we are replacing them with facts so unbelievable they sound like science fiction. We are about to uncover the most breathtaking truths about these ancient creatures that will change how you see them forever. So if you are ready to look past the teeth and into the soul of one of nature's greatest survivors, stick around. And if you are as fascinated by the ocean's mysteries as we are, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive. So now first talk about the engineering marvel of shark skin. Let's start with the surface of the shark, its skin. Forget slimy. If you could touch a shark, it would feel like a sandpaper. That roughness is your first clue that you are dealing with some next level biological design. Shark skin isn't covered in scales like a typical fish, but in something far more advanced, dermal denticles that literally translate to tiny skin teeth. And that's exactly what they are. Each denticle is a microscopic structure made of the same stuff as teeth, complete with an enamel layer, a dentin core, and a pulp cavity. This means a shark is covered from nose to tail in millions of tiny, perfectly formed teeth. So why? This wild design serves a few genius level purposes. First, it's a suit of armor, providing a tough barrier against parasites and injuries, but its the most breathtaking function is how it helps the shark move. The denticles are arranged in a precise grooved pattern that channels water, slashing drag and turbulence. This is what allows a multi-ton animal to glide through the ocean with shocking efficiency and silence, making them the ultimate stealth hunter. It's a masterclass in hydrodynamics that human engineers have studied for years. In fact, this natural tech was a direct inspiration for those high-performance full-body swimsuit used by the Olympic athletes. The one that got so good at reducing drag, they were eventually banned from the competition for providing an unfair advantage. Turns out, nature is the ultimate engineer. What's more, the shape of these denticles change across the shark's body and between species, optimized for their lifestyle. Fast swimmers like Mako have smaller, sleeker denticles for speed. It's a custom, high-tech suit constantly being refined by evolution. So when you see a shark moving with that effortless grace, remember, you are not just watching an animal swim, you are witnessing a living lesson in fluid dynamics. It's not monstrous, it's magnificent. Now, let's talk about the shark sixth sense that is more than a hunter. The mindless hunter myth completely shatters when you learn that sharks have a sense we can barely even comprehend. It's a sixth sense that lets them see the invisible world of electricity. This isn't folklore, it's a biological system called electroreception, and it is one of the most sophisticated sensory tools in the entire animal kingdom. Look closely at the shark's snout and you will see hundreds of tiny dark pores. Those are not freckles, they are the opening to a network of jelly-filled canals called the ampullae of Lorenzini. Each canal is a super-sensitive electrical receptor able to detect the faint bioelectrical fields that all living animals generate. Every heartbeat, every muscle twitch from a nearby fish creates a tiny electrical disturbance in the water, and shark can see it all. They can sense a frantic heartbeat of a terrified fish buried in the sand, completely out of sight. This turns the shark from a simple hunter into a living electrical detective. Imagine navigating the world not just by sight or sound, but by the life force of the creatures around you. That is the shark's reality, the great hammerhead. When its iconic head shape takes this to the extreme, the wide hammer spreads these electroreceptors out. basically turning its head into a superpowered metal detector for its favorite meal, stingrays hidden on the ocean floor. This sense is so finely tuned that sharks can also detect tiny changes in the Earth's magnetic field. Scientists believe they use this as a built-in biological GPS, guiding them on epic migrations across thousands of miles of empty ocean. So far from a mindless eating machine, the shark is an animal of incredible sensory perception, experiencing a dimension of reality completely hidden from us. Now let's talk about the ultimate tooth factory. For all the shark features, nothing is more iconic than its teeth, but the reality is even more astounding than the myths. A shark has a biological conveyor belt of teeth, a perpetual tooth factory that ensures it's never unarmed. Unlike our teeth, which are fused to the jawbone, the shark teeth are just loosely anchored in the gums. This means they break off and get lost all the time. For any other predator, that would be a disaster. For a shark, it's a feature, not a bug. Behind the main row of teeth are multiple backup rows, like inventory stacked in the warehouse. When a front teeth is lost, the one behind is just moved forward to take its place, sometimes in as little as 24 hours. Over its lifetime, a single shark can go through over 30,000 teeth. This constant replacement ensures its bite is always at peak sharpness. And get this, their teeth have another secret weapon that contains fluoride. The amount they can vary between species, but this makes their teeth highly resistant to cavities, a pretty useful adaptation when your diet involves tearing through tough skin and bone. They basically have a perfect smile, functionally speaking, for their entire lives. The shape of teeth is also a marvel of specialization. Great white have triangular serrated teeth like steak knives for cutting into seals. Tiger sharks have curved, heavily serrated teeth that can shear through a sea turtle's shell. Nurse sharks have flattened teeth for crushing crustaceans. So while we saw a jaw full of teeth as a symbol of terror, it's really one of evolution's most successful innovations, a perfectly adapted, self-repairing system that has helped sharks dominate the ocean for hundreds of millions of years. Now let's talk about a skeleton of speed and stealth. We think of predators as being built in with heavy powerful bones. Sharks defy that completely. A shark has no bones, not a single one. Their entire skeleton is made of cartilage, the same light, flexible tissues in our own noses. This might sound like a weakness, but it's actually one of their greatest strengths. Cartilage is way lighter than bone, which gives sharks a huge advantage in the water. This lightness helps them stay buoyant without needing a swim bladder, the gas-filled organ most bony fish use. Instead, sharks have massive oil-filled livers that can make up 30% of their body weight, acting like a giant internal flotation device. This combo of the light skeleton and an oily liver allows for incredible agility and speed. They can change the direction and depth with a fluidity that heavier fish just cannot match. That flexibility also shows up in their jaws. A shark's jaws are not fused to its skull. This allows them to do something called jaw protrusion. When they attack, they can thrust their entire jaw assembly forward in a split second to snatch prey. The goblin shark is an insane example of this, with jaws that launch out of its face like something from a horror movie. This evolutionary choice of cartilage has allowed sharks to become masters of efficient movement. Species like shortfin mako, the fastest shark on the ocean, can hit explosive speeds of over 30 miles per hour in short bursts. Partly thanks to its lightweight frame, the shark isn't a tank, it's a fighter jet. Its cartilaginous skeleton is the secret of its success, proving that sometimes being light and flexible is far more powerful than being heavy. Now, the surprising secrets to immobility. For an animal so often portrayed as an invincible killing machine, sharks have surprisingly and almost comical weakness. Flip them upside down and they enter a state of temporarily paralysis. This bizarre phenomena is known as tonic immobility, and it transforms a fearsome predator into a placid, unresponsive creature. When a shark is inverted, it enters a trance-like state. Its muscles relax and its breathing becomes slow and rhythmic. It can stay like this for about 15 minutes completely helpless. Scientists think it might be an involuntary response like linked to mating or maybe a playing dead strategy when attacked by a bigger predator like an orca, which are known to exploit this very weakness. Marine biologists and researchers actually use this trick all the time. It's a safe and harmless way to handle sharks for scientific study. By introducing this state, they can take measurements, attach tracking tags, and even perform minor procedures without stressing out the animal or endangering themselves. Once the shark is turned black over, it snaps out of the trance almost immediately and swims away, completely fine. This vulnerability is a world away from the Jaws narrative of a relentless monster. It reveals a creature with complex neurological responses and built-in weakness, just like any other animal. The fact that a gentle flip can pacify one of the ocean's most powerful predators is a reminder that nature is full of checks and balance. Now let's talk about an incredible journey of their lives. The story of how sharks make more sharks is as diverse and astonishing as the species themselves. Their reproductive strategies are a showcase of evolution's creativity, ranging from the familiar to the downright brutal. Some sharks are oviparous, meaning they lay eggs, but these are not your typical fish eggs. Shark eggs, often called mermaid purses, are protected by tough, leathery cases. They often have bizarre shapes with tendrils that anchors them to seaweed or rocks, keeping the developing embryo safe. The baby shark grows inside, feeding on a yolk sac for months or even over a year before hatching as a tiny, fully independent predator. Other sharks are viviparous, giving birth to live young, much like mammals. In these species, the pups are connected to their mother by a placenta-like structure that provides nutrients. Then there's the most common strategy, ovoviviparity. Here, the eggs develop and hatch inside a mother's body, but without a placenta. The pups, nourished by their own yolk sacs, and the mother gives birth to live free swimming shark. But within that strategy lies one of nature's most ruthless survival mechanisms, intertwined cannibalism. In species like the sand tiger shark, the first embryo to hatch proceeds to eat its unborn siblings inside the womb. The gruesome practice, also known as embryophagy, ensures that only the strongest and most aggressive pup is born. It's a brutal but effective quality control system that results in a larger, tougher newborn, better equipped for survival. And these pregnancies can be incredibly long. The spiny dogfish has one of the longest gestation period in the animal kingdom, lasting up to 2 years. Once born, shark pups get zero parental care. For the moment they enter the world, they are on their own, fully equipped with the instincts to hunt and survive. We are gone from skin to skeleton, from sixth sense to the secret of their survival. Every fact we have covered, dismantle the monster myth and replace it with a portrait of breathtakingly complex survival. We are only partway through our list. If you are finding this as fascinating as we are, do us a favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel, and tell us you want more deep dives into the world's most misunderstood animals. Now let's talk about the spectrum of giant and dwarfs. When most people hear shark, they mind pictures of a great white. That's like thinking all birds are eagles. The shark family is incredibly diverse, with over 500 known species in a staggering array of shapes and sizes, living everywhere from warm tropical reefs to a crushing dock of the abyss. On one end, you have the gentle giants. The largest fish in the sea is the magnificent whale shark, growing up to 60 feet long, the size of a school bus. This behemoth is a filter feeder, eating only tiny plankton. It swims slowly with its enormous mouth open, and each one has a unique pattern of white spots like a fingerprint that lets researchers track them. The second largest, the basking shark is also a passive filter feeder. At the complete opposite end of the spectrum is a dwarf lantern shark. At just 6 to 8 inches long, it's small enough to fit on your hand, but its size hides an amazing secret. It glows in the dark. It has light-emitting organs on its belly, which scientists believe it uses a camouflage in the deep ocean, matching the faint light from above to become invisible to the predators below. And between these two extremes is a world of specialization. There is a treasure shark which uses its incredible long tail like a whip to stun fish. There is an angler shark, a flattened bottom dweller that ambushes prey from the sand, and there is a bull shark uniquely adapted to survive in both salt and fresh water, found thousands of miles uprivers like Mississippi and the Amazon. This incredible diversity proves shark is not one thing, it's sprawling ancient family of survivors. Now let's talk about the shark, the ancient survival. Sharks feel like modern predators, but they are living fossils. They are only the oldest group of animals on the planet, patrolling the ocean for over 450 million years. To put that in perspective, they were around long before the first dinosaur, before even the trees evolved, and they have survived at least 5 mass extinctions. They are the ultimate survivals, and no species embodies this ancient lineage more than Greenland shark. Living in the frigid deep waters of the North Atlantic, the Greenland shark is the longest living vertebrate on the earth. Scientists using radiocarbon dating on the lenses of their eyes have found that they can live for at least 400 years, maybe even longer. This means they are Greenland sharks alive today that were born during the time of Shakespeare. They are swimming history books, silent witnesses to centuries of our world changing. Their long life is a result of an incredible slow pace and adaptation to the extreme cold and dark. They grow less than a centimeter a year and don't even reach sexual maturity until they are around 150 years old. They move slowly through the depths, conserving energy where food is scarce. Their flesh is actually toxic when fresh, an adaptation that helps their bodies withstand the immense pressure and cold of the deep. The Greenland shark forces us to reconsider our concept of time. It's a creature that operates on a completely different time scale, a quiet, enduring titan of the deep. Now, the doctors of the ocean. After all this, one final myth need to be shattered: the idea that sharks are a threat to the ocean. The truth is the exact opposite. Sharks are not the villains, they are the doctors of the ocean. Their presence is a sign of a healthy marine environment, and their removal can cause entire ecosystem to collapse. As apex predators, sharks keep the entire food chain in balance. They do this by preying on a weak, sick, and old. By removing these individuals, they keep prey populations healthy and prevent and spread of disease. They also control the population of mid-level predators. Think of it like this: if sharks disappear, the large fish they eat can experience a population explosion, and in turn, they wipe out the smaller herbivores. Without herbivores to graze on algae, the algae can grow out of control, smoothing and killing coral reefs. The chain reaction, called a trophic cascade, shows how removing one key species at the top can devastate the whole system. Even the fear of sharks has a positive effect. It prevents animals like sea turtles from overgrazing in one area, which keeps vital seagrass beds healthy. From the giant filter feeders to the apex predators, sharks are indispensable. Yet, these vital creatures are in grave danger because of human activity, primarily overfishing and the horrific practice of shark finning. Many species are on the brink of extinction. It's estimated that global oceanic shark population have plummeted by over 70% in just the last 50 years. We are systematically removing the ocean's most important guardians. From the skin that inspired technology to a sixth sense that detects life itself, from a perpetual tooth factory to a skeleton built in for speed, the evidence is overwhelming. Sharks are not the mindless monsters of our nightmares. They are ancient, intelligent, and breathtakingly sophisticated survivors. They are a testament to 450 million years of evolutionary perfection. The fear fear we have been taught is a fiction. The reality is that we are a far greater threat to them than they have ever been to us. On average, sharks are responsible for fewer than 10 human deaths worldwide each year. In that same period, human kills an estimated 100 million sharks. You are most likely to be killed by a falling coconut than by a shark. The real monster in this story is ignorance. The narrative of fear has allowed us to persecute these vital animals to the point of collapse. But by replacing fear with fascination, we can change that. The health of our oceans is tied directly to the survival of sharks. Protecting them isn't just about saving one animal, it's about saving the entire marine world. So the next time you see a shark, try to see it for what it truly is, not a monster but a marvel, an ancient survival, a guardian of the deep. What was the most surprising fact you learned today? Let me know in the comments below. And if you believe these incredible animals deserve our protection, share this video and let's change the conversation together. Thanks for watching.